Which BMW do you think was the fail of 2023 if you were to guess? Now, if you asked me this question in January of this year, I would probably have gotten it wrong. I personally thought it'd be the 3.0 CSL, which costs $750,000 US, and it's basically an M4 CSL. It's hand-built, has the 6-speed manual swap, and maybe some visual pieces to go along with it. I thought, who is demented enough to pay that amount of money for a 1 out of 10 BMW that in my opinion is not as special, or not as special as it could have been. But BMW sold all 10 of them, and even more, one of the first delivered examples got resold almost immediately for $1.2 million. So if you look at the numbers, it was a success. BMW sold exactly the amount they wanted to sell for exactly the price they wanted to sell, which was outrageous, but it worked. Now back to the failure. Top Gear actually calls it the XM, and I tend to agree with them. Maybe unfortunately, in the back of my mind, I kind of wanted that vehicle to succeed. I thought it had not maybe the chops, but at least the courage to do so. However, BMW sold only 4,500 in the first 3 quarters of this year globally. Now it's hard to dissect the numbers based on other M models or other BMWs because they don't really classify it specifically by specific model. But in 2022, BMW sold 177,000 of M and M Performance cars. Doesn't tell you much. I know M cars are separate from M Performance. They are valued way more. There's less numbers, but it's a number we have. And this year they've been setting records for even higher sales. So they're projecting to sell around 190 to 200,000. Now XM, if the trends continue, will sell around 6,000 to 6,500 of them. And I personally think their lowball example was 10,000 units. And yes, it's easy to say that the car is ugly and that's why it failed, but it's a little bit deeper than that. So let's see why the XM failed or is failing currently. So yes, the XM has the highest power of any BMW models. It does look polarizing, which might work for some people. I'm thinking the people that buy Lando wagons or the Cybertruck family or cult. And the back seat actually was quite nice when I sat in it. But really that's all the things that's got going for it. If you look at it as a luxury vehicle, it's a little too stiff. If you look at it as a performance vehicle, it's way too heavy. If you look at SUV, it's not really practical. If you look at it as a design piece, it's ugly. So it really tries to be outrageous all in all, but it doesn't really tick any of the particular spots, especially if you compare the starting price of 160,000 to something like an X6M, which starts at 110,000 and does deliver better value for that price. Now that all might change with the label red coming up later in 2024, and that's starting at 170,000. So maybe that will pick up the slack, but as of the numbers are showing right now, that ain't happening. Anyway, Top Gear calls XM the failure of the year. I tend to agree with them. What do you guys think?